Hey guys, it is Ben, aka the Fuseboxx, coming to you again for another Fuseboxx Engaged. Every Saturday evening at 7 Central. And today we're having sort of a special stream here. We want to help push a campaign past the red line. I have got Belmont Press, Justin Belmont on with me.
Hey,
What's going on?
just closing out my first campaign today.
Hell yeah, hell yeah. Smokes the Fox, #1. So yeah, let's just get right into it. Tell us a little bit about it.
Smokes the Fox is a character that I created when I was 15. It's like 28 years ago, I believe. He's a character I created shortly after I got into comic books and marijuana. So right around the same time, I got into both of those things. And I remember I was high one day and I was like sketching in some like cheap notebook, and I came up with this Fox character who looked kind of like Cerebus because I was a fan of Cerebus. So, but then I gave him a pipe, and I thought he was cool. And then we named him Smokes. And then throughout the years, I just like would sketch him here and there, like doing stupid shit. And then I just forgot about him, kind of tucked him away, and then I ended up moving out of New York, where I was from, and moving out here to Denver in the year 2000. And I had to start my own life. I had to live on my own, get a job and all that stuff, and didn't really sit around and sketch anymore that much. But in the back of my mind, the character was always like, just one day you got to do something with that. And then I started my own business, and I started making some pretty good money. And then I had the extra money to start this project. So in 2018, I actually began production on the comic books.
Nice.
So that's pretty much how I got into it. So when I had this extra money, I needed the script. I know I needed something good. If I tried to write the script, it probably wouldn't come out as good. But I had this good idea of how it was going to go, and the concept and everything. And I'm out here in Colorado, and there's a local convention called the Rocky Mountain Con, and
Okay.
it's every November. It's a little tiny convention in like this little side room inside this hotel, and they get like one good guest a year. Like they had Michael Golden one year, they had Larry Hama, and then I go there because it was cheap. It's like $10 to get in. It's cool. It's a cool time. A lot of local people there, and then I always see Mike Barron. He's always a guest. And I was like, this year I'm gonna pitch my comic book to him. I'm gonna see if he'll write my comic book. And I just walked up to him, fuck it, and just asked him, do you want to write my comic book? Told him it's about a pot smoking fox, how it's gonna go, and thinking that he was gonna say, get the fuck out of here, kid. He just basically said, I'm in, and that was how that's how I got the script out of him. Later on, he told me he was born to write this comic book.
Oh yeah. That is the best.
His first job, I guess, out of college or something, he worked for the government, and he was like doing a study where you live somewhere and you like smoke pot around the clock. Like somebody's dream job today, you know what I mean?
Yeah, that was pretty much how I was living up until a few months ago. Except I wasn't making money.
So I had a suspicion that Mike smoked pot or whatever, but I found out that he did. And we started like throwing ideas back and forth and stuff and collaborating, and then we came back with this nice script like 2 or 3 weeks later. It was pretty quickly. We did a few more changes, and then that was it. I gave the script actually to an editor. I recommend this to everybody. I tell this to everybody that if you're doing a book for the first time, The most important thing is the editor after you get your script completed. And I don't care who you have as your writer. I don't care if you got Chuck Dixon, Mike Barron, whoever. You need somebody on the outside, you know what I mean, that will look at this thing and tell you what's wrong, what needs to be fixed, plot holes, or etc.
Yeah, I think that's good. I think that's good advice because I edited my first comic, and I think I did a decent job. But the thing is, like, I discovered, of course, after we published that I had 2 tiny typos that I missed, and I was pissed.
Well, it's not just the typos and stuff like that. It's also like, you know, make sure that things make sense and the characters would say the things they would say. Just a lot of stuff like that. Page layout. There's a couple times where the artist and Smokes didn't leave enough room for the speech balloons. So some of Mike's text we had to actually edit and take out because there was no room for it. And my only other option would be to pay the artist to redo it again and redo the whole page and make that panel bigger so it can fit it all. But he didn't really plan it really well. So I rewrote a couple of lines in the book, in the Smoke script. But not because the Mike did a bad job, it's just because there was no room for it. It would just, you know, fill up the whole panel.
Yeah.
You've seen those pages that people make fun of online with all those fucking writing in the panel.
Yep.
I didn't want one of those either, you know. But we kept Mike's script pretty much, didn't do too many changes or anything. I didn't want to, you know, rewrite it or anything like that. I mean, he did a great job. It was just a couple of small things that needed tweaking, and that was it. And then after that, I actually worked on the model sheets because now I got the script and I see all these characters and I'm like, who's this guy? Who's Dr. Bird? Who's Colonel Mayberry? You know what I mean? I got all these characters now because he put them in the story, and I needed the look. You know, I needed to know what they look like. And in the story, you would give like a small description sometimes, very small, like has blonde hair, looks like this other woman, and that's about it. So I gave that description to. I found this guy named Lee Oakes. He's an artist that worked with Mike Barron before. Mike recommended him to me, so I emailed him and I said, "Hey, I want to make this comic book, and I have some characters that need to be made. Do you make model sheets?" He goes, "Yeah, I can do that." And then I gave him, you know, a list of the characters and like the descriptions that Mike gave me, and then I might add a little bit more to it, like how I wanted it. And then he'd come back with a drawing, and I would tell him to like fix, you know, this or that, change this, and then he'd come back, and then we do the final inks on it. And then I had all these character sheets inked, pretty much of every single character that was in the book. So I recommend that after you get your script, you get it edited, and you're happy with everything, you move on to the next step, and that would be to create your character sheets. I mean, I recommend doing that. Then you got all these characters you can throw into your world. The next up would be to, you know, land a penciler in a style that you like. You know what I mean? Something that your vision, something that, you know, you want your comic to look like. And then I would actually recommend you do the lettering after you do the penciling. Throw the letters in next. A lot of people do the lettering as the final step after it's already inked and all that stuff. I think it's enough to do it during the penciling stage so you can actually fix something if it doesn't work out. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
So I even told my letterer that. And he's like, "Oh, yeah, good idea." I'm like, "What do you mean good idea? You haven't done that shit before?" I mean, what do you mean? I guess they don't do it that way, you know, usually. So I'm sure I'm not the first person to do it that way, but I recommend you actually throw those balloons in there, actually at the thumbnail stage. But after he finishes the final pencils, why not throw the letters in there? You already okayed your script. It's already final. Then you can see it in the pencil stages, and maybe something doesn't make sense. Oh, look, maybe I need to add a caption up at the top. You know what I mean? There's stuff.
Yeah.
Maybe this page needs a sound effect. So you'll see stuff like that when you put the speech balloons in there when the pencil stage. You'll see stuff like that. Well, this needs a fucking caption. This, you know, needs something here. So I thought that was a good idea to do that at the pencil stage. Then you get the inks done, and then you got to go to the coloring. And at first, I didn't want to get smokes colored, man. I had a feeling that someone was gonna fuck it up or whatever, and I'm very picky when it comes to the colors. And I can't even tell you how many different colorists I looked at their art, and there's only like a handful that would want to color my book that I like their style or whatever. You know what I mean? There's a lot of like so out there. You know what I mean? But I'm looking for a little bit better than the so. So I was able to land DC Alonso. I don't know if you're familiar with him.
No, I've mostly been getting my colors done from other countries.
Yeah, he's in a different country. He lives in Spain.
Yeah.
He worked on The Expendables Go to Hell, if you're familiar with that book.
Oh, yeah.
And he did at least one issue of Replicator.
Nice.
You know what I mean? And
yep.
then he did... What else did he do? Oh, he just did IDW Star Trek for that company. And he just got hired by Marvel.
Ooh.
He just posted it on Facebook. So
damn.
He's actually gonna do one more thing for me to wrap it up. And then we're gonna, go to print this summer. And I hope there's no like delays. I hear people are waiting because yearbooks are being printed and shit like that, and paper shortages, and Putin, whatever the fuck they're blaming their problems on nowadays. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, I used Mix'em for my printing, and I didn't really have any issues with it. But I mean, I got mine done before COVID's big strike, so God only knows.
Before all those, all those ships, whatever, stuck at the dock or whatever, can't unload.
Yeah, something about boats.
Yeah, I don't want to deal with any of that, so I'm gonna use definitely gonna use a printer in America. That's for sure. I have my eyes on a couple different places. I'm gonna shop around and stuff and see what I can do, what I can get. And it all depends on how big my order is going to be. I'm trying to squeeze in as many, backers today as I can before we close out. And of course, I'm going to buy more copies than I need so I can, have some for later on and sell later on. But
yep, always good to do.
I'm not sure how many I'm going to make yet. I haven't decided on that. Depends on the price, I guess.
I'd recommend just do it a nice round number.
Like 500?
Yeah, like just depending on how many backers you have, like if you have like 150 backers, do like 200 or 300, that kind of thing.
Yeah, something like that.
Yes, indeed. So you want to share that? You want to share that bad boy with us?
Pull that thing up.
That's what she said.
I'm still recovering from last night, man.
Oh, Lola. She's supposed to join us today, but God only knows. It's always kind of a roll of the dice.
Let me send her a message.
You can if you'd like.
Hold on. We're live.
Yeah, it's like usually on this show, it's like 1 week, a bunch of people show up, and then the next week, I'm rambling into the microphone by myself, talking about anything. Yeah.
Shit. All right, I got it pulled up here.
Nice. Let's do that. Hell yeah.
And we're almost at 6,500.
Nice. Let's try to get those numbers up. Let's pump up the numbers.
Yeah, I'm trying to get to 125 backers today.
That's a good, a good benchmark, and we want to, what time is it ending?
1 a.m. Mountain Time. I think it's like 3 a.m. or 2:59 a.m. Eastern Time.
Okay. Yeah, it's about 2 o'clock my time.
Let me see. It says that it has how many hours? 8 hours left.
Yeah, we gotta do that.
8 hours. Yeah, I've been like posting all day on Twitter, and I sent out an update on the campaign, and yesterday I sent out another mass mail to all my mailing list for all my signups, giving them one more last chance, if they want it back. So yesterday I did pretty well. I got a few new backers yesterday, and I got like 2 coming in today so far. So I'm hoping to, go out with a few more, and then get this sucker printed up and get you guys these comics this summer.
Hell yeah!
I got. Have you seen the covers yet? You've probably seen this one, right?
I've seen that one.
Yeah, I know. Are you familiar with Don Perlin?
I've heard the name.
Wait, did you ever collect Valiant, the old school Valiant stuff?
I did not, sadly.
No. He used to do, before that, he was doing Ghost Rider for Marvel, and then
okay.
He's the creator of Bloodshot. Him and Bob Layton actually created Bloodshot, and there's one other guy. What's his name? Man, I can't think of his name right now. But there's another writer or whatever who also created Bloodshot. Had a small part, so it was like But I believe Don Perlin came up with the look of Bloodshot, and then he also did this other book called Bad Eggs. It was kind of like dinosaurs, like that show Dinosaurs, not the mama, but it was like a comic book version of that, and it was kind of like funny, like a comedic, but it didn't really do very well at Valiant. It didn't make any sense. All those other books are superhero books, and then you got like this dinosaur book. It didn't really go anywhere, but he had like the look kind of what I was going for my book. So he came to mind when I was thinking of a cover artist. I wanted to get somebody good for my cover, and then Don Perlin came to my mind, and then I was friends with him on Facebook, and I just messaged him a few times, and I got we did one of those Facebook phone chats, you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
And we talked a little bit. I actually bought some artwork from him. I commissioned him on a couple pieces, and then I asked him, I said, hey, I got this character, would you want to draw the cover? And he's like, and I showed him it, and he goes, I'll draw that. That's all he said. And then but on my model sheet, my character didn't have any pants. He was like like fucking Winnie the Pooh, you know what I mean?
Yep.
So that's how I wanted them originally. I wanted them like that. And then he told me, he's like, you got to put some pants on that thing. And I was like, well, I was going to say, I was like, his characters in that dinosaur book that he was drawing, none of them had fucking pants. They all just had shirts and tops and shit. So I don't know why he was against drawing, or not drawing, pants. So we compromised, and then he put the shorts on him instead of pants. That's how the shorts came. And then the Nam uniform. Originally, when I created them, he had a wife beater, and then over that he would wear like a hoodie, like I got on now. And that's because I used to wear a hoodie and a wife beater like that when I was like 16 or whatever. So that's why I chose that. And then he smokes out of a pipe. I mean, when I smoke weed, I smoke out of a pipe, but I use a glass pipe. He's using like a Sherlock Holmes type deal. I thought he needed like a cool, like something like that. So I thought so we gave his pipe an upgrade. I actually had Gerhard from Cerebus fame actually help me redesign my character. So
oh shit.
He has the look that I was looking for. He's really good at drawing animal characters and stuff like that. So And then later on, I actually got Gerhard to color this cover right here. So this is actually colored by Gerhard.
Nice.
Did you ever collect Cerebus or know about him? Cerebus, the aardvark?
No, I didn't actually.
It was like the longest running. At one time, it was the longest running independent comic book of all time. Dave Sim and Gerhard, they did 300 issues.
Oh, damn.
That's a lot. You know what? It debuted in 1977.
Oh, my God.
In December. And guess what? I was born that same month that Cerebus came out on the newsstands. That month. Not in the day, but in that month. I was born the same day that Cerebus was put out on the market. I thought that was kind of weird.
Well, it's destiny.
And then I became a fan of Cerebus. I didn't know that what year it was made till later on. And then I ended up being friends with Gerhard, and Gerhard actually did my wedding invitation. When I got married, he drew the cover for my invitation. I asked him, and he said, sure. So I worked with him like one other time before I pitched this. And then he had a convention. He was coming to Denver Dink. It's like this small convention out here. And he made an appearance at that show, and I would talk to him. I was like, hey, I want to come out with this comic book. Will you make a model sheet? Because I only had like a headshot. I needed like, a turnaround sheet, the side view, the back, everything.
Yeah.
So we came up with this look. He like started showing me body styles. I want him this look like this or that, and then we narrowed it down. And then I said, no, I want a Nam outfit because I just thought it looked cool. You know what I mean? And I like some of those movies like July and stuff like that. Full Metal Jacket, Platoon. Those are my favorite movies. Those war movies. So I thought that that uniform is really cool looking, especially with the sleeves rolled up like that. So in the book, he gets this outfit. I'm not going to tell you how he gets it, but he does end up having it later on. And I thought it's cooler than his hoodie.
Oh, and definitely.
I think Gerhard did a great job. So that's the variant cover right there.
Is that? Oh, okay. I was about to say, did you get a cameo from Captain Love?
No. That guy right there is Colonel Mayberry.
Okay.
He's the guy, the human that's in charge of the facility. It's an underground facility on the border of Colorado and New Mexico. And in this facility, it's basically like an Area 51 type deal, but it's an underground base. And the project is called Project Minotaur. And this secret project is basically the military working with alien greys and creating these mutants. And Smokes the Fox is just one of the mutants that they created, but he's actually the smartest one they ever made. And Weaponized Werewolf doesn't really have any smarts, but he is the strongest thing they ever made. But they're looking for something like in between, you know what I mean? Neither one of them is what they want.
Yeah.
Because this werewolf doesn't take orders. So what happens is Smokes is so intelligent that he's able to actually escape the facility. And that colonel right there actually makes the mistake of his career, and he gives the order to eliminate Smokes and release Weaponized Werewolf to go get him. So that's how the book starts. And then once you read Smokes, there's going to be a few things that's not going to tell you the whole picture. There might be a couple things we leave out, but once you read Weaponized Werewolf, you're gonna get like the better, the full picture. Things are gonna make more sense because both books go together.
Okay, I was about to ask, like, is it just like, I was gonna ask if it was one book with like two stories, or if it was just like an alternate title kind of thing, or. But yeah. It's
It's a
two books.
companion. It's a companion book. And what
Okay.
happened was is the production of Smokes was going kind of slow. The artist had a lot of stuff going on, and he was teaching art in college. He was a professor, and he had other stuff and other in the family and all that stuff. So he was like, submitting pages kind of slow. And I decided instead of making Smokes a longer book, what if I make a second book, expand upon the story in a different way through the werewolf, and offer the two books together, and then give you like a nice size book if you put them both together. It's like I think it's 44 pages together minimum. So I know a lot of
Hell
people
yeah.
now are doing like 100 pages, 80 pages, but man, I can't keep up with you guys.
Well, again, I'm stuck doing 25 pages of an issue, so
Yeah,
you're doing
so
better than me.
yeah, I mean, it's really expensive per page. So but Mike said, he could do a really nice 24-page story. So I went with the 24 pages. And then what happened is my editor, Kurt Hathaway, he told me that one of the pages should be taken out of the script because there's not much story to it. Basically, the scene was, did you see the weaponized werewolf cover?
Yep.
So
Oh, I
basically,
didn't see that one.
in this scene was actually supposed to happen in Smokes the Fox. And it was cut. It does happen in Smokes the Fox, but this part of the scene gets cut out of Smokes the Fox because there was really no words. It was just the scene of the werewolf, ripping them apart. So I listened to him. He's been an editor for like decades, so I didn't want to. I haven't done that before, so I took his advice and took it out of the script like he advised. But I didn't want to like throw it away, so I decided to actually make that scene the cover for Weaponized Werewolf. So what you're seeing right here is the page that should have been in Smokes as a cover. So instead of having like a pin-up in the book, being like an image comic or whatever, now we have this cool image as the cover.
Badass.
And Tim Vigil, I thought, did a really good job on this cover. Look at the
Oh,
detail
hell yeah.
on it.
I love, like, that's my favorite type of werewolf right there. Like, not enough people do the perfect blend of wolf and man.
Yeah, see, he's not the same as the other werewolves out there. He's half human, half wolf, and he was created in the lab, and he doesn't transform because he's always like this. He's born this way.
Yeah.
And also, he has a bracelet that they put on him that has a tracking device, and it also has a way for drones to follow it. It like kind of follows that bracelet around. And in the story, he uses surveillance drones, but later on, he's going to get weaponized drones. So that's why we call him Weaponized Werewolf. So
hell yeah.
When Mike came up with the idea, Mike added the werewolf to the story. The only description he gave was Bernie Wrightson style werewolf. That's what he wrote. So, he didn't give him a name, or actually he called him Cheney after Long Cheney, or whatever, the Wolfman. It's like the old werewolf, whatever, black and white.
Yeah.
It's before my time, but I kind of know what he's talking about. And so we called him Cheney. And then I was thinking about it. I can't name the fucking book Cheney. Who was going to buy that book? So I came up with the name Weaponized Werewolf. I thought it was kind of long, but I thought it still sounded cool. So
I agree.
And then I thought, everybody and their mother now has a werewolf. But when we were developing these books, there was only a couple out or something like that. There wasn't like there is now. And so it took so long to develop this book that all these other werewolf books kept coming out. But like I said, mine's different than everybody else's, because he's got weaponized drones. Then he wears like the military shorts. And I think those shorts that I gave him are actually not World War II, Nam shorts too. I looked them up, like what they look like a military grade shorts for Vietnam era. I looked them up on the internet, and And I said, okay, use this shit. This is what I want him to wear. Everybody else always does jeans or whatever, ripped jeans or whatever, ripped pants, or naked, completely naked. So I wanted to do a little bit something different with him. And then Kyle Ritter one time wrote on Twitter that he was doing commissions for a cover. And I said, hey, Tim, or hey, Kyle, I got this cover by Tim Vigil. Would you want to color it? And he agreed to color it, and but it took him so long to get to it. He didn't actually start coloring it. What's up, Ashton? He didn't actually get coloring the piece, until about a year later. So it took a long time for him to get to it. And then later on, I showed Tim Vigil, and he pointed out that the scene should have been like sunset, and instead he made it nighttime. So the artist wanted a couple of changes for the colors, but Kyle Ritter wasn't around to do that for me. He's super busy with Cyberfrog and all that stuff. So I got Xevious. Are you familiar with Xevious?
Yep.
So I asked him, I said, hey, I got this cover. He wants changes. Kyle's not able to do it. And then he said, sure. And he did these changes that Tim wanted. And then Tim was like super pleased with the piece. Really liked it. He told me, we should work together sometime. I had this idea. And so it's possible that, we might do a project together down the road. But I just want to focus on Smokes right now. And then, so now it's a collaboration between, Tim Vigil and Xevious.
Nice.
And then,
damn, dude.
Check out this artwork right here. This guy's name is Barry McLean Jr. He's a rising artist. He did the comic book Billy the Kid. I don't know if you've heard of it. It's in comic book shops right now.
Shit.
It's like a rabbit western, but this rabbit's kind of like a Billy the Kid as a rabbit. And it's like a spaghetti western horror comic book. It's really cool. It's written by Justin Gray, if you're familiar with that writer. He's a popular writer, and he also
I'm super casual when it comes to like who writes and who draws.
He was working with Justin Gray on that book, and now he's working with Mike Barron on another book called Cue Ball.
I know Mike Barron.
Yeah, and it's this African-American character who has like a pool stick. He has like a crew cut or something and like a pool stick, and he knows martial arts and he beats ass with a pool stick or something like that. So that's Cue Ball. So he actually recommended, that I do something with Barry, and I asked him, and I told him I got the script from Mike Barron for a werewolf book. And he's real big on horror stuff, so he actually just said sure. So, and then later on, I found out he was my neighbor. So that's crazy. What's the chances of that, huh?
There's a lot of destiny going on in your life.
Yeah, and I was born on Stan Lee's birthday, if that means anything.
That's the stars keep aligning for you to make this book.
At first, though, I was freaking out. Like the third day of the campaign or whatever, I wasn't doing that great, and I was like, had like a mental breakdown. I was like, nobody likes my book. No one's backing. What the fuck? I wasted all that money and all that time, and no one gives a shit. You know what I mean? I was really freaking out, and then the next day, I just like snapped out of it, and just went to work. I just counted this is my 60th stream I've done. I just counted them.
Jesus.
This is number 60 right now. Well, it's not counting the streams I did before I started my sign-up list. This is my 60th stream from starting my sign-up list all the way to today. 60th. That's a lot of streaming. I did 4 streams yesterday.
Yeah, I didn't count the streams I did for Outlaw Nights, but I don't think I made it to 60.
And that's not counting like if my comic book was shown like on Comicsgate Kings. It was shown a couple times there, and Bros brought it up on his, and I wasn't actually on the show, but it was like, or I'm in a chat room. That's not counting all the times I go into chat rooms and I post my link and all that. So if I'm not on the stream, I'm in the chat room promoting or whatever. You know what I mean?
Definitely.
You got to constantly promote if you want to succeed. If you want to, the competition right now, everybody's got a book.
Yep.
Your book's got to stick out from everybody else. You got to have something different. When I walked up to Mike, the first thing he said to me was, "No capes," and I told him it doesn't have any capes in it. So I think he's just sick of superhero stuff. I don't think he hates it or anything, but it's just been like beaten to death. You know what I mean? But I don't
definitely.
give a shit. There's a cape in there or whatever. But
now, are these aliens we're looking at?
yeah, what's going on here is that's Sepoy at the top. He is the alien gray that's in charge of the Project Minotaur, that secret base I was talking about. So he's in charge of even Colonel Mayberry. He runs the whole show, and he's like telling you about something that happened on his world. So this is like a flashback. I don't really want to tell you too much more than that, but that's what's going on in here. I thought he did a good job on the colors.
Oh yeah, no, I love that. I love that style.
Yeah, he's got a really cool style. Really nice guy. He's going to be big time in the future. Mark my words. Barry McLean, you're going to hear of him in the future. He'll probably get hired by like Marvel or DC or something like that, and then his older work will probably be sought after, or whatever. So if anybody wants to pick up like original art, I have sketch cards available for $25, and I got original art pages for Weaponized Werewolf. So if you picked up a page of that, you would get the first appearance of the character. This is the card. They're actually sold out. I had 90 of these cards to the first 90 backers.
Oh shit!
But I think I'm gonna include that image in the book somewhere, so because it's a cool image. Oh, here's the art. Yeah, Ashton got in early, man. He's been helping me and promoting me and all kinds of stuff. So I hope he.
I would hope a jackal would be supportive of a fox. You know.
Right here is just like a page from a Weaponized Werewolf, one of the original art. So it's still, you can see it has like the notes in the margins and stuff like that for the colorist.
Yeah,
and
that's some great line art.
Yeah, his pages were done non-traditionally. So what he did was he did the pencils on a board, right?
Yeah,
like normal, and then he scanned his pencils, and then he gave me the the high-res file, and then I emailed the file to Rodney Ramos. Rodney Ramos is a veteran inker. He worked for Valiant, Marvel, DC. He still works for DC right now. I like this stuff at Valiant, so I was a big fan of his stuff there. So, and I met him a couple times at shows, so I hired him to do the interiors for both books. So he told me he liked Barry's work, and so he got the pencils digitally, and then he blue lined them on a second board. So if you backed this tier and you wanted the original art from Weaponized Werewolf, you would get two pieces of artwork, pencils and ink separate.
Nice.
So $150 if you wanted that.
150.
$150. It's not really that much money now because artists just raised their prices. If you go to a convention right now, Jay Lee is $150 for a sketch card size headshot of a character.
Oh,
$150.
Jesus.
So that's the same amount as my 2 pages of art you would get from Weaponized Werewolf. And that'd be the first appearance, and it's signed by Mike Barron and all that stuff. So it's a pretty good deal. I mean, not everybody's charging $150 for a headshot, but usually around $100 is where it starts now, just for a headshot.
No, I definitely I can't. This is probably one of the cheaper options I've seen for original artwork on an Indiegogo.
Yeah, I've only sold a couple pages, but I'm only selling them because I need to raise money for my next issue. Otherwise, I'd be keeping them all to myself. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't have every page because some of the artists kept their pages. I didn't get all of them. You know what I mean? But I got a lot. I got a good selection. So if you did back that tier, I'm going to do a first come, first serve. So the person who backed Smoke's page already, he's going to get the first pick out of all the pages I have. I'll send him, an email with all the pages attached. And then if someone wanted to jump on another page, they would get second pick. So that's how I'm going to do it. I thought that was the easiest way to do it, the fairest way.
Hell yeah.
And I got a bunch of extra crap too, I thought the Smoke's license plate was pretty cool.
So is it an actual license plate?
Yeah, it's metal. It's got the holes in it. It's the same size. It's I think it's 4x7, I believe. It's the same size as a motorcycle license plate if you went to the DMV.
So people can actually get a license plate with Smokes on it.
No, it's not a real one like you can use as it's the same size.
But theoretically, could you attach that to a vehicle?
Actually, some guy said he was going to put it on his motorcycle to take a picture with it and to send it to Mike. You see, Mike is big on motorcycles, and that's why there's a lot of motorcycle action in this book. And also because Don Perlin, because of his Ghost Rider run, we wanted to have a motorcycle on the cover. So it was essential that Smokes was riding a motorcycle for the Perlin cover. And I thought, since we had so much motorcycle stuff in the book, why not do a motorcycle license plate?
I mean, that's a good idea.
Have you seen the campaign with the license plate on it before? I haven't seen any.
Not yet. This is the first time.
So yeah, I try to do something a little bit different. I know everybody's seen them online, but no one's done one for their campaign.
Yeah, I guess I gotta make a spaceship or some shit.
It's always good to do something, different, a little bit different. I'm not the first person to do a neck gaiter right here, but there's not that many people doing them.
Oh, fuck.
So it's basically just a print of the cover, of the Gerhardt cover, that you can wear on your face,
Basically your badass version of a COVID mask.
Yeah, and then that's another reason why we got, Mike Barron added, he's talking about Werewolf by Night. The reason why Mike Barron added the werewolf character to the story is because Don Perlin was going to do the cover, and he had the idea that he wanted Smokes, to be attacked by a werewolf on the cover while he was riding his bike. And so that's how a weaponized werewolf got put in the story. It was all because of Don Perlin. We basically catered to him. This is like, even the story was written around him.
Nice.
I really wanted him to be a part of it. So that's why we picked Don Perlin to do the cover.
Fuck yeah.
Then I got a 6 a.m. bottle opener. Not 6 a.m. I keep saying 6 a.m. Phoenix Animations. Phoenix Animation.
Damn.
So that's the same thing. It's got the cover on there, but it's double-sided. So it's all metal. And when I went to go see Mike a couple weeks ago, he was at a convention, and I was at the convention hanging out at his table for a couple days, and he showed me in his backpack that he had his Smokes bottle opener.
Damn.
I sent them one early as a gift.
The chibi.
Out at 6 a.m. That's why I was getting confused. Thought I was going to go to the stickers next. But yeah, so Smokes is unlocked at 6K right there at the top left.
Oh, wow.
And then Weaponized Werewolf is next at 7K. So I'm going to need about $500 to hit 7K. We unlocked the werewolf sticker. And then Sepoy, the gray alien, is at 8K. And then Colonel Mayberry, outside of his uniform, that's at 9K.
I'm actually going to be getting 6 a.m. to do some chibis for Outlaw Nights.
Definitely recommend it. You're not CG unless you have a 6 a.m. chibi. That's my saying.
Well, we need them. I mean, what's it all for otherwise?
He just added Weaponized Werewolf to the collage. You know that big collage that he has?
Yeah.
So he just added him to the collage. I was excited about that. Now I just want to be a CG wrestler. That's what I want.
Oh, Bancroft.
I'm just going to go over the tiers right away. All that stuff I showed you basically is available on the Epic bundle. So you get all 3 covers, and you get the license plate that I was just showing you, and you get a sketch card. And you're either going to get a sketch card from Lee Oakes or Barry McLean. It's going to be random, but it's going to be for one of the artists that drew the interiors of the books. And then you're going to get the bottle opener by Phoenix Animation. And you're going to get the neck gator. And you're also going to get a mystery gift. And everybody asks me, what the fuck's the mystery gift? Well, if I tell you that's it's not a mystery, you know? But it's going to be rare, and there's 2 different mystery gifts, I can tell you that. And someone's going to get one, someone might get the other. I hope people don't get mad if they get one or the other, but they're so rare that I don't have enough to even, so I have to have 2. So
damn.
It's going to be really rare. And then you get all that stuff for $125. And I think I only have 5 left. I started off with 20, so I was hoping to sell out of these, so I think I still might.
Oh yeah, like that's an insanely good deal.
Yeah, and you're gonna get 3 autographs by Mike Barron, and I'll sign all 3 books, and then the artist is gonna sign all the books. So you're gonna get 9 autographs total. You're gonna get 3 comics. I think it's a pretty decent deal, you know. That's why I put it as my featured tier.
It's an amazing deal. Like, I would suggest you charge more.
I wanted to give guys a deal. And both these comics are completed too. I added that to my right there. I put that right there, on my front of my campaign, because some people, aren't completed. Some people are wondering or worrying, what if he's only, what if he doesn't complete it? What if he, goes to Mexico with all my money? No, all this stuff is I already actually invested in my own self, and I actually paid. Everybody's already paid. Well, except for my letterer, because he's finishing up some things. I can't pay him for something he hasn't done yet. But he's wrapping up the credits page for both books right now.
Is it Eric Weathers?
No, everybody uses Eric Weathers, but hold on one second. No, I used Kurt Hathaway. You probably don't know his name, but he worked for Image Comics for about 5 years or so, and he was hired by Rob Liefeld, believe it or not. And
wow.
He designed the logo for Black Flag. Dan Fraga?
Yeah.
So he's a graphic designer, he's a letterer, and he's an editor. So he did the editing on my books. He did all the lettering. And he's lettered so many comics, as many as Eric Weathers, or maybe even more. He's been lettering comics for over 30 years. And he lettered stuff for Extreme Studios for Rob. And then he's lettering actually the new Black Flag comic book for Dan Fraga. And like I said, he did his logo. He did the Smokes logo. He did the Weaponized Werewolf logo. Me and him worked together on both of those. I told him what I wanted to look like, what I was going for. And I gave him examples of other logos that looked similar. And for Smokes, we kind of we took the idea from like Cheech and Chong. I think it was Up in Smoke or something like that. That blue color, I kind of like that. So that's why Smokes is kind of like that bluish color for the logo. and then Weaponized Werewolf, we worked on that. He does really good logos. I approached somebody else. I remember I wanted to get a logo made. And you know how much they quoted me for a fucking logo?
Oh God.
Over $1,000.
Jesus.
It was like $10.50. I was like, "Are you out of your mind?" I got Kurt Hathaway at a fraction of that price, and he knocked it out of the park. But I didn't actually have him design the colors for the logos. Gerhard and me did the colors for Smokes for the logo, and me and Roger Huffman did the coloring for Weaponized Werewolf. He's this guy who saw my cover. He saw my Weaponized Werewolf cover before I had colors, and he colored it himself as because he liked it just for fun. And then he colored the logo, and I liked how he did the logo, so I asked him if he can do that in high res, for me, and he actually did. So that's how I got the coloring for the Weaponized Werewolf. Some guy just did it for me because he wanted to. So that was cool.
Damn.
And then
I
added this digital tier right here, the Australian tier, I guess everybody calls it now. So for $12, I don't know how much that is in Aussie dollars, whatever, dollaroos, or what the fuck's Bancroft call them?
Oh God. Kangaroo bucks.
Well, I forgot what he called it, but I added that. So I sold a few of these. A couple people in Australia, I think, picked one up. I'm hoping a few more people grab these digital tiers. You know what I mean? But I hope to, ship them out internationally one day when the fucking shipping is a normal price, or when I can do some kind of deal and with RJ from Critical Blast and send out a bunch of them and have somebody else distribute them when it gets there. Something like that.
Yeah, it's pretty absurd right now.
And then basically I got the basic tier is the Legendary Pack A. And that one you would get the main cover, which is the Don Perlin, Bobley, and Gerhard cover. So this is the first cover that I actually had created. So I wasn't sure if I was going to make this the main cover or the variant cover. I was really on the fence about which one would be the main, which one the variant. So I decided to make this one the main cover because it was made first. That was one of the reasons. So I like them both equally. I can't tell you which one I like better. It's like picking a favorite son or something.
Exactly.
So everybody that backs is going to get the Weaponized Werewolf companion book for free. And this pack comes with the Don Perlin Leighton cover. And then if you want, I'll sign the books for you. There's an option. There's a drop down when you go to checkout. And you can decide yes or no, because I know some people want it signed and some people don't. And someone just emailed me the other day, and he realized that the Epic Bundle didn't come with it only came with signed comics. It didn't come with unsigned comics, and he didn't want to open them up and use them. So now he wants to buy the covers without signatures. There's some people out there that want to buy a set signed and a set unsigned, and I used to do that kind of stuff too. You want to read a comic book, you don't want to get your signed one all dinged up, or you don't want to touch it and get your grubby hands all over it. Keep it tucked away. And if you like the other cover better, you can get the Legendary Pack B, and the same thing. You're gonna Weaponize Werewolf, and I'll sign it. I'll sign both books if you want. And if you can't decide which cover you want, I made it very simple, and you just all three covers for $40.
Ooh, hell yeah!
So I didn't want to go too crazy with too many, variants, and then some people would have to pick and choose, and not. I decided that 2 was enough. You know what I mean? I didn't want to make everybody pick which one out of 20 different covers, or I think less is more in this case. I think.
Oh yeah, no, my first campaign, I didn't even do any variant covers or anything. Now I'm gonna do one variant.
Yeah, don't go too crazy with those variants. That's what killed comics in the '90s. Was part of the reason. But yeah. I do like one variant covers, but just don't go too crazy with them. You know what I mean? Don't offer too many. And then if you want all 3 covers signed, I'll sign all 3 of them. Mike Barron will sign all 3 of them, and then Barry McLean will sign Weaponized Werewolf, and Lee Oaks will sign both Smokes issues. So you get 9 autographs, just like you do in the Epic Bundle. So if someone didn't want to buy all that extra stuff with the Epic Bundle, you can just get this one.
Fuck yeah.
And then I had the retailer tier, but no one's actually bid on this one. I just threw it in there like last minute, and I haven't really tried to sell it. I haven't really called up any comic book shops or anything. It's still kind of a high price, I think, but I don't really want to. I don't know what to do. What do people do? Do they wholesale their comics to these people, or you know what I mean?
I mean, it's probably best to do not what I did, where I just went to my local comic shops and offered them at pretty much whatever price they were willing to pay.
Yeah, someone said something about you might want to sell them for like half the price, like $12, and then they make half the profit and you make half the profit. But I definitely don't want to do anything like that and like get people mad, like the Red Rooster type deal. You know what I mean? And get people buying it somewhere else. What I'm gonna do is I'm
wait
gonna
to do that after people.
I'm gonna take care of all my customers, all my backers first, and then after I mail out all those books, I will take care of the digital tiers next. I don't think they should get it earlier, than the physical backers, but they should get them around the same time. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that makes sense.
I don't want anybody to be mad. Oh, you got a digital tier. You only paid $12. I paid $30, or I wanted mine first. I don't want to get anybody to get mad at me. And I'm gonna try to get the art tiers out right away because you guys paid good money for the artwork. And I want to get everybody's books in their hands this summer. I mean, what's better time to get a couple of good books in your hands? In the summertime is the best time to do it.
Totally. All
I got left is just the art tiers I was talking about.
That is some gorgeous line art.
Yeah, like what's his name? Rodney Ramos. He did a great job, man. He's still getting work today. He's such a good inker.
Now, what kind of fox is Smokes the Fox?
He's supposed to be a fennec fox.
I can kind of see that.
I was gonna go for I think it's called a bat fox. The one that has the biggest fucking ears, longest ears, or whatever it is. Or maybe it's the fennec fox that has the longest ears. I forgot. But there's one that has really long ears, and I was thinking like Kelly Jones like style. And originally, when I drew the character, I always used to give him these long ass ears. But later on, when we redesigned him, he kind of like got his ears cut short. But if I ever got like Kelly Jones, if I landed Kelly Jones to do like a headshot sometime, it's not out of the realm of possibility either. I mean, it could happen. I actually I commissioned him before for a piece, for a Batman piece. That was a while ago. But I waited 2 years for that Batman piece, but that thing, oh my fucking God, you might as well throw that fucker in my coffin when I die because I'm not selling it. Yeah, it's beautiful, man. He did a really good job on this piece. And he's kind of weird about when he does commissions. He doesn't like give you a set price. You like tell him how much you want to pay, and then he'll like give you something based on what you paid or whatever, something like that. You know what I mean? It was like it's a little bit different than how other artists do it. When you usually get a commission, you get like a set price. My full figures are $350 each or whatever it is. In this case, it was a little bit, different.
Yeah, that sounds like it sounds pretty generous.
Yeah, he did a good job. I was actually going to see if he would draw the werewolf cover because there's nobody else that draws a better werewolf than Kelly Jones besides the late Bernie Wrightson. And when Wrightson was, dying or whatever, in his last days, he told his wife, Liz, that the only person who can complete his last work would be Kelly Jones. So what they did is actually his last dying wish was basically to have Kelly Jones complete the Frankenstein Alive series, because he died in the middle of making that. And
Oh,
he said that Kelly Jones was the only one who could do it, who can like, mimic, or not mimic his style, but closest to his style, I guess you can say. And it looks a little bit different when you look at the artwork compared to Bernie's, but it's pretty close. They're both masters, both of those artists.
nice.
You know what I mean?
Good stuff.
And I
Fuck
added
yeah.
one more expensive tier if there's like a sugar daddy out there. One last tier. I added a 420 special.
Oh well, we are in April now.
It's coming up, but I thought I'd add it a little bit early, and I was hoping someone would jump on it because it's 2 Tim Vigil werewolf pieces, and they're the cover prelims that were used, to make my Weaponized Werewolf Zero cover. So if someone backed, they're gonna get both these pieces, and they're both signed, and it's a pretty good deal, $210 each. That's
Hell
actually
yeah.
not a bad deal. It's a fraction of the price of what the cover costs, and covers aren't cheap nowadays, I can tell you that.
Yeah.
I really didn't want to part with these prelims, but like I said, I got to raise money to, make the next book. Mike Barron scripts are not cheap. Good artists are not cheap. Good inkers are not cheap. Everything's expensive nowadays.
Yep.
You got any questions, Ashen, that I haven't answered like a billion times doing these shows? I usually get asked the same shit every single time. How did I get started? Stuff like that, what's it about? All that stuff.
What's
Someone
the
give me a
end of the
question that
book?
stumps me. I want like something crazy. Ask me something. Did I get beat when I was a kid? Come on, ask me something different.
Let's see. Well, yeah, what's the ending of the book? Tell us the whole book.
There is really, well, it doesn't really end. It's to be continued.
That's a good way to put it. Oh,
Because I want
shit.
this to be like a working on a video at the moment. Oh, you making the video?
He's making a video.
He does all those videos for Odyssey, right? Puts them up on Odyssey, I think.
I should probably branch off into Odyssey.
Yeah, you have over 300 subs, right?
Yeah.
So it does it automatically. If you sync it, what you want to do is go to Odyssey, right, and fill out the form, whatever it is, the sign up, and then there's an option there where you can sync it to your YouTube or whatever. So it automatically, when you post to your YouTube, it posts automatically to your Odyssey without doing it twice.
Oh, fuck.
Yeah, so if you have 300 subs, you're able to do that option. So I would definitely do that. Go make an Odyssey account right tomorrow or tonight.
Shit, I'm gonna. Thank you so much for coming on, man. I love the book. The artwork is fucking gorgeous. The idea is great. Is this like gonna be like available for kids, or is it like an adult theme?
I'd say NC-17.
Okay.
There's like one swear word in one of the books, and then there's a lot of gore and blood, and then there's the marijuana smoking. So I'd say NC-17 for these books.
Yeah, that's probably those are the best books anyway. So
at least 16. You have to be at least 16, I'd say, to read these books.
Yeah, that's a good marker.
A mature 15-year-old maybe. But
I know.
I didn't want to make them, smut, or I didn't want. Everybody's doing like girls with big boobs, and I just want to tell a good story, not too many gimmicks.
Yeah.
I kind of like Valiant had a good mix between artwork and story, and that's what I was trying to do here, and that's why I hired a lot of the people that work for Valiant on this book. That's the kind of look I was going for. I wasn't just trying to make a bunch of pinups. I see a lot of projects now that are just a lot of like basically what Image was doing, just giving you nothing but pinups. Which I mean, I like the artwork and I think it's cool, but like Don Perlin said, the most important part of your comic book is the story, and without the story, it doesn't matter what your artwork looks like. It does not matter, because if your story sucks, it's nothing matters. The whole book's shit if it's based off shit, if it's founded on shit. So your story is your most important. When you get started, make sure you got a good story. Make sure it's edited. Make sure you're ready to go, and don't start penciling yet until you're ready. Until it's ready.
Yeah. That's good advice.
If you can't do it yourself and you don't know what the hell you're doing, hire somebody else.
Yeah, that's why I hire artists.
Yeah, you can't draw, hire somebody to draw it. But that's becoming hard now because everybody's getting snatched up. I mean, it's like a renaissance right now. It's like the golden age of indie comics right now, and everybody wants to put out a book. There's only so many artists to go around, good artists anyway, and all the good ones are always taken. They're working on multiple projects. You know what I mean?
Oh God, yeah. I lucked out in finding my my team for Outlaw Nights issue '2.
And that came out, or you're working on it now?
We're working on it now, but I was lucky.
How long did it take you to do the first one?
Oh God. It took at least about 6 months because but the biggest issue that we had with the first book was that my artist that I had midway through working, he just fucking vanished.
Well, that happens. I was hoping that didn't happen on me. My book, I've seen that happen many times, online, where artist just says fuck it, they do the work that you want up to a point and they get paid, and then they decide I don't want to do this shit anymore, or maybe a better job came along where it pays a little bit more, and they just abandon it. But
it wasn't even just with me, his entire, he hasn't touched his Twitter, he hasn't touched anything. People were messaging me being like, hey, have you been in contact with, I don't want to say his name, but you been in contact with him? And I'm like, no, where the fuck is he? I don't know what happened to that guy.
Did you ever find out what happened to him?
Nope.
He disappeared. Is he dead?
He might be. That
maybe he got COVID or something and died, or what?
No idea. I just know that Simon Potier stepped up and finished the book, and he did a great job with it. It's gorgeous.
Did you redo the pages, or you just started where you left off, or what'd you do?
Yeah, we worked where you left off, and we just Simon just kind of tried to mimic the style as best he could, but it doesn't look like a Frankenstein book. It looks good. It's just, you can tell there's a different style in certain pages.
Did you see that Frankenstein book where Kelly Jones did it?
No.
He had to finish Bernie Wrightson's work.
So yeah, Outlaw Nights is basically it's a space opera. It takes place in the 31st century. Humanity has begun colonizing into outer space, with a lot of history repeating itself, sort of a thing where the nations of Earth are all at each other's throats, competing over territory and resources. And in the midst of all this, there's been a boom in crime, particularly piracy. And our main character, Cyrus Lawson, is a guy who's just trying to kind of get away from it all. He goes to a small, out-of-the-way settlement to be a colonial security officer, but he's not expecting, a lot of trouble. But unfortunately, trouble comes right to his front door as a group of pirates are invading the settlement looking for a special piece of data. and push comes to shove, our boy Cyrus gets kidnapped by them. So now he's got to learn how to survive while at the same time kind of reevaluating his entire sense of right and wrong.
Nice. Sounds cool.
Hell
You
yeah.
plan on doing like a mini series or what?
Yeah, it's going to be a series. It's right now I'm hoping for maybe about 10 issues.
10. Nice.
But it just depends, you know, like I'm going to keep doing them as long as we can make the bank.
Yeah, I mean, sky's the limit for mine. I even talked to Mike about, Mike writes novels too, not just comic books. There's a possibility that we might get Smokes the Fox the novel.
Nice.
Like
that's the way to go.
He did like biker novels, and he did a Florida Man novel. I think he did 2 Florida Man novels, or maybe even working on the 3rd now. He keeps busy, man. He does more in the morning before everybody even wakes up. You don't even understand. He gets up so early. He just works on multiple projects at a time.
God damn.
He's got like a project coming out with Pat Broderick soon. You'll hear about it very, very soon. He's already hinted at it and posted a couple things about it here and there. It's called Bronze Star. It's
okay.
It's a supernatural western, and it's drawn by Pat Broderick, written by Mike Barron, and it's like drawn in like sepia style, like the old school comic books, like in the 50s, I guess, were made like that.
Oh wow!
And it's some of Pat Broderick's best work. It's actually amazing. He has really, really detailed style, Pat. You'll see it's coming. It's going to be a smash hit. You'll see.
Hell yeah! No, I mean I see Mike Barron's stuff all the time on Twitter.
Yeah, he doesn't disappoint. He's at the height of his career right now.
Oh, most definitely.
He's got more work than he's ever had in his life. He told me at the show. I kind of opened that door for him when I hired him to do the script for Smokes. He didn't really do too much freelance work. You know what I mean? He was just doing his own thing, like Nexus and Florida Man and stuff like that. I think there was one other guy that hired him, but so me and this other guy kind of opened the door, and then after they saw that Mike Barron, he's writing comics for that guy and that guy. Everybody started asking him to write their book, and then shit. He's written so many books for Comicsgate now. It's unbelievable. You know what I mean?
God, yeah. I'm hoping I'll be able to branch out with my writing. I don't know if I'll be able to branch out as much as he has, but you know.
Yeah, I thought about writing myself, but I decided just to come up with the idea and the concept of how the story was going to go and just tell Mike what I wanted.
Yeah.
And that way, I didn't want to spend all this money on all these top artists and inkers and all that stuff, and based on my story. Then if my story's shit, I kind of wasted my money on the artwork and everything. So that's why I wanted to be sure that it came out good, and I wanted to have a good foundation, and your script is that foundation that you need.
Most definitely.
But
hell yeah, man. Well, thank you so much for coming on. I loved it. Loved the book. I hope you get a hell of a lot more backers tonight. I know we haven't had a lot of people watching the stream, but hopefully we'll get some more viewers during repeat viewing. And for all of you who are going to be watching this afterwards, the link to this campaign is in the description of the video. So get on it.
Yeah, there's only a few hours left.
Only a few hours left, y'all. 2 a.m. Central Time.
6 hours down. 6 hours.
So y'all better get on it. And where can we find you?
Mainly on Twitter. at Justin Belmont with an underscore between my first and my last name.
Hell yeah. And as always, I am Ben, aka the Fuseboxx, and you can find me at Knights Outlaw on Twitter. You can find me here on the Fuseboxx channel. We do Fuseboxx Engaged every Saturday at 7 p.m. Central. And sometimes I do a specialty show on Tuesdays or Wednesdays, usually nerding out about stuff like Dragon Ball, but that's happening rarer. That's happening fewer and fewer times these days. But yeah, also underneath Justin's campaign in the description, sign up for the email list for Outlaw Nights issue number 2. If you guys missed issue number 1, you're going to get another chance to back it on issue number 2. And if you're on the email list, you'll get there's an exclusive perk that's going to come out where you'll be able to get both issues for the price of one.
You got a trailer?
So, I do on the campaign. Unfortunately, I can't really share everything yet until I get my new computer. But yeah, get on it, y'all. And thank you so much, everybody, for joining us. And we will talk to you all later.